The college football experience and college basketball experience Saturday pregame show on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network is brought to you by Hall of Fame Bets, the sports betting research platform for parlays, player props, and game lines. Download the Hall of Fame Bets app or visit HOFBets.com. Use that promo code SGPN to get 50% off your first month and start making smarter bets today, people. We're also brought to you by the SGPN app. Yes, the SGPN app is completely free to download and home to all your favorite SGPN podcast contents, or contests, articles, and picks. Just type SGPN in the App Store or Google Play Store today and download America's #1 DGen app. And remember, as always, folks, too, let it ride.
Hey, this is Pac-Man Jones. You're listening to SGPN. Let it ride.
Yes. Woo! Welcome to the college experience. I say that because we got college football and college basketball coming together for just a fantastic Saturday, folks. We got bowl games. We got FCS national championship games. We have FCS playoff games, even a D2 national championship mixed with unbelievable. I actually think the best college basketball slate this season so far for a Saturday. Shout out to the chat. If you're wondering who the hell you're listening to, my name is Colby Swinging Database Dan, aka Pick Dundee. That's not a pick. This is a pick.
He was raised in the land down under, where a man thinks on his feet, speaks with his fists, and lives by his wits.
When Dundee happened, he was a superstar.
I'm probably drinking too much and celebrating too much and not sleeping. Would have killed a normal man, but no, that's gone. The medical advice I got from that was like being hit by lightning. Pretend it never happened and get on with your life.
Little early morning start. I like it. Folks, youtube.com/the college experience. Shout out to the chat. CD's already in there saying 757 in here. Let's cash out. Let's go. I am joined by my co-host for all these Saturday mornings. I feel like for years now. Give it up for the host of the NBA Gambling Podcast and the WNBA Gambling Podcast. You can also hear him on the NFL Gambling Podcast and Sports Gambling Podcast. Give it up for Terrell Furman Jr. Good morning, and are you already into the Jameson action?
Yeah, I'm not into the Jameson action right now. Give me a little bit, but it's here. It's on deck. It's ready to go.
There we go. And man, the slate is fantastic today. I'm going to start off with the bang, because I know we have a lot of big time matchups. But let's just keep it. I know you are a North Carolina A&T graduate.
Yes, I am. The illustrious four-time HBCU national champion.
Yes.
You are not going to slide 4 times. I just wanted that to be known. Undefeated against the SWAT. 4-0.
Woo!
Just make sure
we
that's
have the
known.
Celebration Bowl kicking off in about 53
1
minutes.
Hour. Yep.
Yeah.
Less than an hour.
I had multiple people DM me this morning saying, "How is Florida A&M just a 7.5 point favorite? They are 11-1. Willie Simmons has done a fantastic job. Jeremy Mosa's a very underrated quarterback. Used to play it in the SEC."
Mm-hmm.
And they asked me, "Is this a trap, or does Vegas just not know anything about FCS?" I replied, "I think this is a trap. I think Vegas knows what they're doing. I know Howard's just 6-5, but they almost beat a Big Ten opponent, Northwestern, 3-point loss. They kept it close with Eastern Michigan in the MAC. They did take down North Carolina Central, who everyone, including myself, a month ago, had you ask me, what's the Celebration Bowl going to be? I said, oh, Central and Florida A&M. No, the Howard Bison put it on North Carolina Central. So I know this game's in Atlanta, which I guess would favor Florida A&M's fan base. You think?
Oh no, both fan bases are deep, so it doesn't matter where this, because it's in Atlanta. That is an opportunity where, just how, there's the handicap of, if it's in Vegas, everybody's going to want to go to Vegas to just spend a weekend in Vegas. I just want you to know, if it's in Atlanta, we spending a weekend in Atlanta. Like, that's just what we gonna go to Atlanta for a weekend. So it don't matter. I'm telling you, it's gonna be deep on both sides. It ain't gonna be like A&T though. A&T, they ain't deep like us, but they gonna have a lot of people there.
Well, I first took breath in the great city of Washington D.C., so I have to take the Howard Bison. Sprinkle a little bit on that money line. I'm curious your thoughts on if you think the line is it Vegas not knowing the FCS well, or is this Howard smash spot?
I normally would sit here and tell you that this is the, you take the MEAC versus the SWAC. You take the MEAC. The MEAC knows how to play defense. The MEAC focuses on that side of ball. Yes, they can have big offenses, but that's what the SWAC does, is just offense, and never attention to detail on the defensive side of ball. But FAMU ain't just no regular SWAC school. They was just in the MEAC not too long ago. They know how to play defense here. You look at what FAMU is doing over the past few games, giving up 14 points to that Prairie View A&M team, 7 points to that Bethune-Cookman team. Yeah, they gave up 28 at A&M, but they still scored 42 in that game, and then a 45-7 win earlier this season against Prairie View. This is a really good Florida A&M team. That offense looks great. I think the defense is stepping up for them. I think Howard's defense is good, and they're going to challenge A&M at times on the offensive side of the ball, but I just think that it's going to be about who can get the most stops. And I think FAMU can get more stops and be able to create more offense. So I'm going with FAMU minus the 7 here, actually.
Well, I was all over Florida A&M earlier in the week, but I said, on the Tuesday FCS show,
when it opened up at 5.5, that was the perfect number. When it moved to 7, that's where I'm like, and I kind of do still lean Howard, because I think it's last team to get the ball, and I think that Florida A&M,
I'm seeing 7.5 on DK right now.
I say I'm not going to change. I'm not going to bid it. I'm still going to lay it.
I'm going to take a flyer on the Bison representing. And yes, I know Albany got smacked last night. That might be my worst play of all time. 59-0. Whew. We just had Georgia Southern and Ohio kickoff. I forgot that was an 8 a.m. kick. I thought that was a 9 a.m. kick. So now let's jump over to the college basketball slate, because the basketball slate today.
Oh man.
I mean, talk about the best Saturday so far, and maybe the best Saturday of the whole season, even until March at least. We got LSU taking on Texas. Now this is not in Austin, which was huge for me, because I was about to take Texas at that. Their home stadium gets fucking lit. So to me, the fact it's not in Austin, it's in Houston. LSU, and then with the transfer portal shit, because LSU they had multiple players that were denied waivers, mainly what I think Jalen Cook was the one that really stands out. If you watched him at Tulane, he's a fucking stud. Getting Jalen Cook healthy, huge. Or not even healthy. Getting him available, huge. Yeah. I'm on the Tigers just because I think Texas kind of been struggling a little bit this year, and now that LSU gets their full roster, I think we should bet on LSU. Your thoughts?
I'm all over LSU here in this spot. Once they moved my guy out of Texas, I ain't had no loyalties to him no more. Once they got my guy out of Texas,
he's not talking about Chris Beard, folks.
Definitely not talking about Chris Beard. Definitely not talking about Chris.
He's talking about Shaka Smart.
My guy Shaka. Everybody knows my guy Shaka. But yeah, no, I think that this is a really good spot for LSU. This is a lot of points. I think that this is a little bit of a closer game, and I think the addition of Cook to that team Now you have that veteranship in the backcourt. Like that was the issue for this LSU team. They didn't really have a veteran backcourt. Now it's a veteran backcourt, and you're gonna feel confident about running your offense. I know Cook's been with the team. He's been practicing. He's been acclimating himself. I think this is a coming out party. LSU on the money line.
I like it. I like it.
Plus 240.
To quote the great Ed Orgeron, "We Tigers, let's go Tigers." Yeah, no, I think, and Texas has kind of been underachieving all year, man. Basketball, even when you watch them against lesser competition, you're like, I don't know. Same time, pretty much. 30 minutes later, the Kansas Jayhawks are actually going into. This is not a neutral. Going into Bloomington, take on the Indiana
this is a
Hoosiers.
neutral?
No. I'm saying the LSU. You know how LSU, Texas is neutral, Georgia Tech, Penn State's neutral. There's like 1,000 neutral site games today, but Kansas, Indiana is not one of them. That
Okay,
is
all right. That's
yeah.
in the making sure.
Kansas is laying 7.5 or 8. This line opened at I think 5.5, if memory serves me correct. Kansas won by 18 the last time they played the Hoosiers, but that was in Lawrence. KJ Adams is a game time decision for the Jayhawks. And I mean, Xavier Johnson, who is a key player for Indiana, he's also a game time decision as well. I am still taking at 5.5 or 5 when it opened up. I thought maybe you play Kansas. 7.5 at Assembly Hall. I think you have to take the points here. I think the dogs are biting early. This game's on CBS. So give me the Hoosiers, even though I think I'm not that high on this Indiana team this year. I just think it's the right spot. This is the first true road game for Kansas as well. What are you doing here, man?
I do like fading teams in their first true road game. But I mean, how do we really feel about this Indiana team?
No, I don't feel good about it.
I don't like overall this season. I mean, they're 7-2, which is, that's good. I'm not saying that's bad, but I mean, you won by 3. I guess I was on the road at Michigan, so I guess that's kind of a 3-point win. But Michigan, I don't think Michigan's really that good. You got absolutely destroyed by Auburn. I mean, I remember that Louisville game. I wasn't impressed with them at the Louisville game. I don't know, man. UConn destroyed them. Auburn destroyed them. They might just see a different class and they can't compete. I saw you guys take Indiana. I'm fading it. Give me Kansas. Kansas minus 7.5. I just think that this team can't compete with really good teams.
I just think this environment's going to be fucking insane. It's going to be insane today. And that's going to be the real question if because I don't even know if Indiana will make the tournament when it's all said and done. But
here,
I
got a
think
question
they get
for
it
you.
for this. Yeah.
What's your feelings on Florida Gulf Coast?
They've burned me a lot this year.
Okay. That's all I needed.
Yeah. They've burned me a lot.
Florida Gulf Coast covered against Indiana.
Yeah. Yeah. They're not.
That's why you thought. That's why you bought into Florida Gulf Coast, because they covered against Indiana, because you thought Indiana was good. I don't think Indiana is actually that good. I'm all over Kansas here.
I like it. You locking that thing?
Yeah. I'm gonna lock it up. I really don't think they're that good.
Look, it's a beautiful Saturday morning. Nothing better than starting off the Saturday morning with a little lock battle. Let's go. Pick Dundee riding with the Hoosiers. This doesn't sound right. Terrell Ferber Jr. loading up on the Jayhawks. Here, I thought you were going to talk me into a Florida Gulf Coast play.
No, I'm just emphasizing my point that Indiana really might not be that good at all.
Yeah, I think that's fair. That's a fair assessment there. Gonna ask you about your boys, because the Temple Owls are catching 10 in Richmond against VCU. It's a big number, man. It's a big number.
Man.
I ended up taking Temple, but not betting this one.
I will say this isn't the normal VCU team that is terrorizing the A-10, and things haven't been the best, but you think just anybody comes into Richmond and tries to cover 10 against this VCU defense? Absolutely not. Is the offense going to do anything? Not necessarily. But I think that both of these two teams are going to get after it. And this is a better spot for VCU where they cover 10. And it's really the line movement. This line opened up at 8. I would have thought, if anything, it drops towards Temple. But now money coming in on Temple and the line keeps growing to 10. So, I mean, Vegas knows something that I don't know. And as much as I love my Rams, I wasn't that confident. But now that the line keeps growing, I believe in them. So, Siegel Center is going to be lit. They're going to get it done. Give me VCU minus 10.
No, can't do it. Can't do it. But Terrell Furman's saying, I'm not betting this game. Temple's 2-0 on the road. It's their third road game. I just can't trust VCU yet. This is not Mike Rhodes or Shaka Smart or
No. I get it. Trust me. Nobody understands like me. I understand, but this is I think this is a scary enough like line and spot and fishy where VCU just ends up. Because why is VCU really getting 10 here? Like really? Why?
Yeah, I don't even understand it. Yeah, I mean maybe you're onto something there. Maybe you're onto something there.
I think it's fishy. I just think it's fishy.
I would probably set it at 5. So I think you are right in that capacity.
Yeah, I think 5, maybe, I don't think I would get to 6, 5 or
4. Let's talk about, okay. You're from Southern Virginia there, and Hampton is a terrible program right now. However, they are hosting red hot, undefeated James Madison.
Mm-hmm.
I know you were in the chat last night, but I was trying to talk myself into betting Hampton plus 15.5 just for the little brother angle.
Nah, it's not. It doesn't translate. It doesn't. Come on now. Like, to be honest, I wasn't thinking much of James Madison. Like, it was James Madison. Like, that's the place that some people go up to school. Nobody's thinking about James Madison. James Madison's about to come in here and roll.
Yeah, they're pretty nasty this year. So, all right.
But I do love that they're playing this at Hampton.
I know. That's what I'm saying. That's why I was like, that. Oh, come on. Give me the 15.5.
But I don't. It's a wrong time of year. I think that because now think of the time of year it is. School is out. They just finished finals. People gone home. You might get some people that are in the area. You may get your diehard older Hampton fans that are there. They'll be there. But students like that can really, really pack this place out. They're gone. And so the feel that I would have loved this to happen in the beginning of the season when everybody's still on campus, when people can get hype about it. Now it's like, there's not really going to be as deep as I would have liked it to be. So I think JMU rolls.
I like this comment by Paul Bucher. My cousin is an assistant at Hampton. Lay it.
Oh, wow.
Getting some inside.
Hey, no, that's how I feel with A&T though. So I ain't even gonna hold you.
All right, Baylor is taking on Michigan State. This is not in East Lansing. This is in Detroit. I don't understand these games because it's like if you're going to travel all the way to Detroit, what's another 45 minutes? All right. Anyway, Baylor's laying 3.5. I've made this case. Do I think Baylor's a better team than Michigan State? 100%. However, I just cannot see Tom Izzo at 4-6 and no good wins in the first 6 weeks essentially. I guess you could maybe say the Butler game, but I'm on Sparty. I don't have many reasons because when I break it down on a X's and O's front, I everything tells me Baylor's better. I just refuse to believe that Michigan State will continue to lose all these games and drop to 4-6. Give me Sparty plus 3.5 plus 140 on the money line. I'm locking that just because I feel like they're due. What are you doing here? Oh, a little battle action.
Yeah, because look,
Spinal.
Michigan State sucks. Like they suck. Stop giving Izzo factor. Just stop giving the Izzo factor. They are not good. They're not good. You have one of the best offensive teams in the nation. You have one of the better defensive teams in the nation in Baylor. Like this is a Baylor spot. This is just a Baylor spot where they are better. Scott Drew.
Yeah.
They're gonna get this done. They are 100% going to get this done. Michigan State sucks, and the more we thought that they might suck last year, and they made the tournament. It's like, oh, okay. No, they're actually bad.
We got a battle because this is situational handicapping 101 here. All right. I don't believe they'll get embarrassed. I know that you can still lose the game and not get embarrassed, but I just believe that the moment, the pressure, Baylor's 9-0. I don't think they're feeling that much pressure about winning this game. I think Michigan State's feeling that pressure. I think they need it. So that is why I'm on Sparty. But yeah, I understand the reasoning. Like I said, you everything we've watched this season tells you Baylor is going to fuck them up. But I just think Izzo gets the guys up. They steal one that will matter come selection Sunday, and they'll be saying, "Hey, well, we did play a tough non-con, and we ended up beating." They'll say we beat Baylor at a neutral site, even though we know this is going to be an all Sparty crowd. I
understand it, and the line dropped, and I will give that to you because the line was 3.5 last night when we were talking about it. It is 2.5 right now. I will give that to you. Everything, and me, I'm Mr. Contrarian because everybody's on Baylor. I'm Mr. Contrarian, but I don't know. Maybe I got a bias with Izzo right now, but me and Izzo got some beef. Honestly, I might travel up there to East Lansing. He can meet me in the back part and we could settle it real quick. But I got some beef with Izzo because he's burned me so many times.
Look, he's a senior citizen, dude. Don't.
I don't care. I'm beat him like he stole something because he stole a couple parlays from me. I'm beat him like he stole something. I definitely could whoop Tom Izzo's ass.
Yeah. At 73 years old or wherever the fuck he is. Yep. That's a minus 700. Georgetown. I know this game is not that appealing to the masses, but I see a play that we should be doing here. This game is on the C-Dub, by the way. Shout out to the C-Dub getting all these games. Georgetown's catching 5.5 in South Bend.
Lock it up.
I'm of the opinion that Georgetown's been playing a little bit better lately. Especially they were able to benefit off of the transfer portal shit too. I think Notre Dame's still figuring out who they are. 5.5 is a little too much for me. Ed Cooley going on the road as a dog.
So I want to tell you, and I want you to hear me when we say this. The best head coaches as a dog in college basketball, second best, one, Mr. Ed Cooley. 140, 104, and 3 as a dog, second best all time. Third is Shaka Smart. Fourth, we're going to talk about him after this.
Yeah, this play makes a lot of sense. Give me the Hoya. Sprinkle the money line. Sprinkle the money line here because Notre Dame's not that good. So let's go. Friends through eternity, loyalty, honesty will stay together through thick or thin. I know you love that music. As long as they don't sue me, that's our music now.
Yeah, I love it. Hey man, I love Georgetown. I love Georgetown. Yeah, every single Saturday morning. But you keep giving me them as a dog. We cashed them as a 10. What was it? A 10-point dog?
Yeah, should have hit on the money line because Eddie Lampkin stepped out. Or no, was it Eddie Lampkin? Who was that?
I don't know, but it was close. It was like right there. Either
it
way.
wasn't Eddie Lampkin because he's on Colorado now. Who was it? It was the Emmanuel Miller stepped out.
College basketball is so much better when the Big East is on top. So much better.
Yeah. Yeah.
Forget the Big 12, forget Big 10, SEC, all that other stuff. When the Big East is on top, Georgetown, St. John's. Man, I wish Rutgers would just come
bring it back. Yeah.
Come on, man. Come on. I would love to add you to that.
I love this next play. And I've already bet it on the money line. So I like this Houston team, but I think Texas A&M and Buzz Williams has the perfect amount of athleticism to fuck with Houston. Because Houston's always like one of the most athletic teams. I feel like you watch them, you're like, damn, every fucking player they have is an athlete. A&M has that SEC blood money. All right. They have been, and Buzz has been building this They're getting 7.5 now. This is in Houston, Texas, but it is not at the at on campus at University of Houston. So I'm all over the 7.5. I see plus 260. I've already bet the fuck out of this game. So give A&M is also off the loss to Penny Hardaway. So I loaded up on the Aggies. One of my favorite plays of the day. Played on the money line too. What are you doing? It sounds like you're lockstep here.
Oh, 100% lockstep. I told you we're going to talk about the fourth best college basketball coach of all time as a dog, Buzz Williams. I mean, this is the spot. Only thing is, I wish this was at A&M. That's it. I wish there's another neutral site game here. However, I think this A&M team, they see the opportunity ahead of them that if they get this win against top 5 Houston, then that's going to mean it. That's going to mean a lot going forward, especially talking about when we talk about committee and wins that you need to put together. So just like how you were on Michigan State saying that this is a really good win for them, I think this is a really humongous win for Texas A&M for them to get. So let's just go ahead and where's Jong? 2-team Korean barbecue,
Yes.
Texas A&M, LSU, lock it up.
Love this. Shout out to Jong. And look, I've made that trip also from Houston to College Station. That's not that far. I think it'll be more 50-50. Maybe Houston will have a slight edge, but I think I think it'll be kind of a true neutral site game. Anyway, let's lock it up.
Friends through eternity, loyalty, honesty will stay together.
Another one of my bigger plays, and they all happen to be at this part of the schedule, this time in the schedule here, is Clemson's red hot. They're coming into Memphis. Clemson's number 13 in the nation. They've just been playing really fucking good ball. They're 9-0. I think this is a terrible spot for them. It's at the FedEx Forum in Memphis, Tennessee, against Penny Hardaway in Memphis. I think Clemson is a very good team, but I also think they don't match up well against Memphis. I think Memphis's height and mainly their athleticism is really going to fuck with the likes. So like Clemson has, how do I say this? Nice. PJ Hall is a very good college basketball player. Joe Girard is a very good college basketball player. But these are guys that are very good in college basketball that probably will not be in the NBA. I know the NBA changes. Maybe Girard could be used on a role. Sometimes you never know about that sharpshooter. But Memphis has guys that are going to be in the NBA with athleticism and length that I think will give Clemson trouble. I know Clemson's team is old as fuck, but I just think it's a smash spot for Memphis. It's just a bad matchup to me. It's a bad matchup. Maybe, especially it's a true road game here. This is not one of those neutral site games. This is actually in Memphis. I'm all over Memphis. I bet the hell out of them. I know the lines added a little bit of value to Clemson overnight, but sign me up for the Memphis Tigers minus whatever that number is right now. What are you doing here?
Yeah, I'm with you. This is one of my favorite betting trends to back in. I call it a rule game. I mean, you sit here and you have a ranked team who is an underdog on the road going to play an unranked team, a home favorite. Why is the unranked team a favorite opposed to the ranked team? Everybody goes out and starts betting the ranked team, thinking that, oh, I'm getting a ranked team with plus money. And here you go, have this little team in Memphis that nobody thinks can win, and they win. I'm with you. I'm all over Memphis here. I think they get it done. This is a better team. I think that they are athletic enough to be able to fuck with Clemson's defense a little bit.
Yeah. I really think that's the angle that I love. And the chat's asking about Naquan Tomlin, who was at Kansas State, transferred, and I don't think he's playing, but it's something to monitor here. Yeah, Rob's saying that he hasn't officially joined the team yet. He might be waiting for the next semester, if I had to guess, but because he transferred like 3 days ago. This is not like the NCAA ruling.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So they got to file his paperwork and everything. But also noted is Clemson, Jack Clark, their forward, is a game time decision. But yeah, I'm all over the Memphis Tigers here. Lock it up. Curious about this one here. Juwan Howard's coming back to Michigan after Phil Martelli has been coaching there and as an interim. Michigan's laying 23.5 points against little brother, Eastern Michigan, who almost beat them outright. I feel like, was that last year they almost beat them outright? I think it was last year.
Yeah.
I'm all system play here. Give me the points. I know they might be happy Juwan Howard's back and the crowd, is more energetic than normal, but I still think it's just too many points for a Michigan team that I don't think should be really 23.5 point favorites against a lot of teams. So I'll take the Eagles and the points there. What are you doing here?
Yeah, I think we get this one through the back door. I think that Michigan probably goes up big at some point. They coast. They are, not really taking it seriously. Eastern Michigan, little brother still got something to prove at the end of the game. We get this one through the back door. I'm on Eastern Michigan.
Let's go. I've already bet that myself too. Ohio State is laying 1.5 against UCLA in Atlanta. I actually had a really hard time with
Atlanta's
this game.
deep.
Yeah. These games
Atlanta's
today.
deep.
Yeah. I think Ohio State's the better team right now. That might not be the case come March because of the youth of UCLA. I also think Ohio State might be in a little bit more of a desperate spot from a coaching point. Chris Holtmann, they're saying, I think he's on the hot seat. So I'm going to take the Buckeyes -1.5. I don't love this play. Haven't bet this. Not going to bet it. What are you doing here?
No, I'm on the Buckeyes too. That offense, a top 15 offense in the nation. Like, they're really, really good when it comes to scoring basketball. The defense is really solid as well. I question if UCLA is going to be able to keep up. Like, I think that this Ohio State team is going to be, while they play at a little bit of a slower pace, they're still going to be stop, go, score. I just don't know if UCLA can put together the run that I think that Ohio State is going to be able to put together. So yeah, I'll go with Ohio State here, -1.5.
Let's go. We do have a couple bowl games going on. Rich Rodriguez and Jacksonville State. Great season year one after jumping from the FCS. Taking on the Louisiana Raging Cajuns in New Orleans. Jacksonville State's laying 2.5 or 3. This line's bounced all around. When they opened, I believe they were a 2-point dog. My logic here is pretty simple. I think Jacksonville State is more excited to be playing this bowl game because they were originally not eligible to, but the NCAA's got a guideline where if not enough teams go bowl eligible, they make it. Also, they don't have any opt-outs as far as I know. Louisiana does. And Louisiana plays in New Orleans all the time. So I just think Jacksonville State's been the better team this year. I trust Rich Rodriguez. So I am going to lay the 3 or 2.5, whatever you can get right now with Jacksonville State in New Orleans. What are you doing here?
I'm locking up Jacksonville State.
Yeah, I'm with you.
They were they almost weren't in. They weren't going to get in.
I like this play. Yeah. I think they're going to fuck them up. Rich Rod too. That offense, man, that thing flies. I don't think Louisiana's ready for that.
I haven't been impressed by the Raging Cajuns at all this season.
Yeah. Desmero might get fired after next year. Miami, Ohio is taking on Appalachian State. I believe this is in Orlando. These bowl games are tricky because Miami, Ohio starting quarterback Brett Gabbard, brother of Blaine, out for the year. He got injured a couple weeks ago. And their backup, who played pretty well as they won the MAC championship. Well, he damn if he didn't win the MAC championship, said, guess what? I'm out of here. I'm hitting the portal. So now you're on a third string quarterback who I believe has never thrown a college pass.
This is why you should just extend the playoff, because then these games would matter. Players wouldn't hit the portal this early, and then you'd be good. But because these games don't really matter, players just go ahead and hit the portal. Now you're trying to figure it out. I'm not trusting a third string guy I barely know about against this App State defense. I think they're gonna swarm and they're gonna get up, because App State, they play for the bowl game. Like, this is their Super Bowl. When they get to a bowl game, they know they're not going any higher than making a bowl game. So yeah, I'm all over App State here.
Now it should be noted that star running back, who is a fucking beast, Nate Noel, he hit the portal too for App State. But App State, I feel like I've watched App State over the last 20 years a little closer than most teams, and I feel like they always have great running backs. So, like, yes, Nate Noel's a baller, but I'm sure the next guys up are very good too. So I don't think we panic as much. I like laying the points with App State. let's talk about New Mexico State taking on Fresno State in Albuquerque, New Mexico. Fresno State's without their head coach, Jeff Tedford, who has some health conditions. Wishing him the best. New Mexico State looking for their first ever 11-win season. They got Diego Pissing Pavia. This is actually, I think, one of the better bowl games today because there isn't that many opt-outs. There's a couple for Fresno that I think hit the portal. But New Mexico State, I think they only have one or two that have hit the portal. So I think this is, if you're looking for the best quality game, it could be this game right here, despite obviously Fresno not having their head coach. New Mexico State's laying 3.5. I ended up going to Mexico State just because I think they have more motivation. They've never had an 11-win season. It's also going to be cold. Fresno, I don't think is ready for that type of cold and altitude. So I'm going to lay the 3.5 with New Mexico State. I don't love this play though. What are you doing here?
I think you're right. I was originally on Fresno. When I thought about it, I was originally on Fresno plus the points because I thought Fresno, historically good team, but I can admit that I don't know everything. I think that's a good angle of this New Mexico State team. This is one of their better years. This is how you cap off that year with a bowl win. Yeah, I'm with you. I'll go to Mexico State.
Yeah. FCS playoffs. We also have North Dakota State heading into Missoula, Montana. This line's gone all over the place. North Dakota State was a 1.5, 2-point favorite, 2.5 point favorite, I think, back Monday or Tuesday. Now it's Montana minus 1.5. Obviously, North Dakota State's head coach took the linebacking coaching position at USC. He says he's going to coach out the rest of the year, but I do believe that's a distraction. And I also believe this Montana team is playing much better. One of the things to me, I watched Montana early in the year and they were struggling a little bit. They were winning, but they were not looking good. Clifton McDowell came in at quarterback. They benched Sam Vidlock, the Oregon State transfer, brought in Clifton McDowell, who is a dual threat quarterback, and they do a ton of option read stuff with him. I think that has been the catalyst for this run that Montana's gone on, because they've looked so much better since then as a team. The team got behind McDowell. That's enough for me. And then I also worry about where North Dakota State's at mentally, because when you think about if your coach is leaving, that means you're probably going to have a new head coach that's probably not on the staff, potentially on the staff, but a lot of offensive and defensive philosophy changes, coaching changes. Maybe Entz is taking other coaches. But I think players look at the portal; they're looking for opportunity. So I just think in general that's a bad situation here in the middle of the FCS playoffs. I'm on the Montana Grizz at home. What are you doing here?
Yeah, I think the changing of the guard has come in the FCS. I think changing of the guard has come. I'm on Montana State. I was rolling with North Dakota State.
Montana, not Montana State.
Montana, not Montana. Yeah, I was with Montana. I was rolling with North Dakota State. That's what North Dakota State this entire time. And like, hey, that veteranship that I think that means something. But here, I think they run into a buzzsaw. I think this Montana team is just better. Like, I think Montana is just better.
I do too. And I think North Dakota State got fortunate to beat Montana State 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
I think it catches up to them here. But very excited to watch that game. But yes, gimme. I'm locking up the Grizz at home.
I'm not locking it.
All right, let's
it's
jump
still
back
North
to
Dakota State. It's still North Dakota State. I'm not gonna lock it, but I support you. I support you.
Jumping back into college hoops. Some of the bigger games today. It's a loaded slate. We have Florida Atlantic, fresh off a Final Four. They are heading to Massachusetts, of all places, to take on St. Bonaventure. The Bonnie's always solid. FAU is laying 9.5. I took the points in the Bonnies just because it's not a far trip from upstate New York there to Springfield, Massachusetts. But I don't like this play that much. But I feel like we should talk about this game because FAU looks pretty damn good. They've returned pretty much everybody minus one player from a year ago. What are you doing here?
I don't know. This FAU team is just, I don't know if I want to fade them.
Yeah.
I don't know if I want to fade them. I mean, you think of how St. Bonaventure was so good, the run that they were on. It's literally doing what this FAU team is doing now, and you get your solid core, and you just continue to return them. I don't know, man. I do love the Bonnies.
I didn't bet this game. I just thought it was worth talking about because the line was a little surprising to me. It was a little lower than I thought. I thought FAU might be a 12, 13-point favorite.
But the thing is, I could see Bonnies keeping it close. This could be a really good game. Like, this could turn out to be a really good game just to watch overall. I don't know if I want to fade FAU, though. Yeah, I'm not betting this, but give me FAU, but I'm not betting this. I don't feel confident about this at all.
I'm going to take a shot on this play here. So, folks, Utah just played BYU and won. Huge fucking game in the state. The game prior to BYU, the look ahead spot, we locked up Southern Utah getting, I think it was 14 or 15 at Utah, and they almost won the game outright. Only lost by 2. Right now, Utah is hosting. So they just beat BYU the last time they stepped on the hardwood. They are hosting Utah Valley, and Utah Valley is getting 17.5. This line is too big. I think Utah is going to win, but Utah Valley, by the way, located right there. This is not really an away game. I mean, it's on a different court, but I'm saying like it's like a 10-minute drive. I feel like from Utah or from Salt Lake City. I'm all over the 17.5, and I will be betting this one. What do you make of this one?
I'm laying it.
Laying it with the Utes. You betting it?
Nah, I'm not betting this. But I'll lay it with the Utes. I think there's I actually don't like Utah, but I really don't like Utah Valley.
They're getting better though.
I'll take
Valley's getting better.
And that's the reason. And that's the reason. Because they're playing up and they're playing a little bit better than what they started. I'll take the 17, but I'm not betting this at all. You can have it.
Vermont. I love the little brother angle where you just beat BYU. Just give me little brother. They're probably not even focused on Valley. Vermont, the Catamounts, been a great mid-major over the past I feel like past 15, 20 years.
Yep, they have.
Yeah. They're catching 9.5 in Blacksburg against Mike Young's Hokie squad. I'm on the points. I think
you're crazy.
Probably going to win the game.
Everybody wants to believe Vermont's going to be in this game. And that's that's going to be the one. That's going to be the one today that everybody sat there and said Vermont is 100%. It's Vermont. They've been a really good mid-major. They are no. So
Sean Padula is a game time decision for the Hokies. Does that affect your handicap?
A little bit, not exactly. I trust Mike Young. 74-57 when they play Auburn. 84-50 when they played FAU. Not saying that are they 100% those? No. Give me Virginia Tech. They get it done.
I just think it's too many points. Hokies win by 5.
They are giving the Virginia schools a lot of points today, and they're going to show up. They're going to show up. Shout out to VA. Matter of fact, little VA parlay.
You talking Wahoos?
We might. We'll talk about it a little later. We might be able to put a little VA parlay together later.
Arizona is taking on Purdue in Indianapolis. Purdue is catching 2.5 points currently. I hate Purdue, but I got a feeling this is just a bad spot for Arizona. I am locking up the Boilermakers plus 2.5. Just ride the money line. This is gonna be a Boilermaker crowd. What are you doing here?
I don't like this Purdue team.
I don't either, man. I've never liked Purdue.
So yeah, but I'm going Arizona. I don't care. I'm going Arizona.
Locking it?
Arizona. No, I'm not locking it. because Purdue will do that. And last time I bet against Purdue, they burned me. I'm not gonna lie. So
All right,
I'm not locking it, but I understand my bias that I don't like Purdue.
Let's go back to Atlanta. You are a noted North Carolina Tar Heel fan. They are laying 1.5 in Atlanta against the Kentucky Wildcats.
Mm-hmm.
I know you are high on the Wildcats as well. Something's got to give here. I am taking the Tar Heels. I think the experience is the difference here. I think that's what has me betting on North Carolina. So I am going to bet this game. I'm super excited to watch this game. But I mean, Kentucky has shown up in those big spotlights, the spotlight games. I thought they've played really well in those games. So it wouldn't surprise me if the Wildcats got the dub. Can't wait to watch it. But what are you doing here? Because you've been high on both teams this year.
Yeah, I love both teams. I really do. And there's a North Carolina hooper, Rob Dillingham, for the Kentucky Wildcats, who I think is going to absolutely go off in this game. However, I think he goes off in a losing effort because I think it's the same thing as you with the experience factor of UNC. But I think that Kentucky is going to make this a good one. And UNC has started games off slow all year. Remember that Northern Iowa game? It's another one I'm talking about. But they've started slow all season. Here's the play. Halftime, full-time result. Kentucky in the first half, UNC win the game. I don't know what that pays. We got 69 people in the chat. Somebody tell me what that pays.
Yeah,
that's the play.
Let's go.
That's the play. Let me find out what that pays.
I don't know if you have any interest in talking Northwestern DePaul, because DePaul should probably not be mentioned on a show.
I don't know what the line is, but give me the dog.
Yeah, DePaul's getting 9.5. 9.5. Little battle Chicago. I'm on the Blue Demons too, despite them being terrible this year.
What you thought between those two teams? I was taking the favorite. No way.
I wasn't sure. I was like, where are you gonna go there?
Give me the dog.
Cincinnati, Dayton in Cincinnati, but not at Cincinnati's home stadium, if that makes sense. Bearcats are laying 4.5 against the Flyers. Obviously, we know Dayton has played pretty damn well. I like this Dayton team, especially considering Malachi Smith's injury after the first game of the year. He's out for the year, unfortunately. But Dayton's played well despite battling his injuries here. 4.5 points is what the Flyers are getting. Plus 170 on the money line. I'm taking the points. I thought about taking the money line, but I just feel like this could be like a 1-2 possession game. I'm taking the points. I think that's the better play here than taking the actual money line. What are you doing here?
What line did you get for this?
I'm seeing 4.5 right now.
2 possessions. Yeah, I'll take the points.
Yeah, I mean, I actually might bet this game. UMass is taking on West Virginia in Massachusetts, Springfield, Massachusetts, though not a home game for UMass. Frank Martin and UMass getting currently 3 points.
Man, Moneyline Mac is just. What did he say about this one? I know he is just saying.
Well, first
he
said Frank Martin was in the chat listening to the pod last night, which shout out to that.
Oh, really? That's dope.
Yeah. But then he faded him. He said, I gotta. I'm like, I can't fade Frank Martin after he was just in the fucking chat. Let's go.
Hey,
give me UMass. Yeah.
He heard Mac fade him. Probably.
Yeah, I would assume
he heard Mac fade him. Wow.
I would assume.
Oh, Frank Martin, you got. Oh yeah, Frank Martin. I'm going Frank Martin money line.
Yeah. Plus, what is it? I mean, they're getting 3, so whatever that payout would be right now.
Yeah.
Short little yapper on that game's on ESPNU. I think plus 125 is what I'm seeing. Back to the college football front. UCLA is laying 5.5 or 6. I've been offered free tickets multiple times this week to this game, and I'm still not going. Let you know what's going on here. UCLA though, okay, so Boise State, they fired their head coach Andy Avalos. Their offensive or their defensive coordinator took over. He looked really good. They hired him to be the head coach, but unfortunately, their starting quarterback Taylon Green is now at Arkansas. And their backup quarterback, who played pretty well this year too, he has I believe, broken collarbone, so he's out. They are on a third string, and I believe their third string quarterback back to start the year transferred out in late September or early October. They're technically on a freshman that's never thrown a pass. UCLA has opt-outs too, and I think there's 4 starters on the defensive side of the ball that are either gone via portal or sitting out for the NFL draft. Their defensive coordinator also is gone. He is now at USC. Dante Moore, their star freshman quarterback, who started a few games, is in the portal too. But I don't really worry about the Moore one because Garbers has started a lot of games for UCLA, and he's going to start today. It is closer to UCLA's campus than any game they've ever played before. I think you just have to play UCLA, just because Boise doesn't have I can't trust a freshman 4th string starting quarterback coming into the year to just take on UCLA's defense is pretty damn good this year. So I know they're out 4 guys, but I kind of still think that defense is solid. I'm gonna lay the points with the Bruins. I guess I'll bet it too, just because I feel like I just can't trust Boise's QB play. What are you doing here?
I don't trust anything about Boise right now. Honestly, like it's just too much turnover at the end of the season, and this is one of those things where it's like, dang, you had a really, by your standards, a good season over the course of the year. You made a bowl game, like. You got all of this, and now it's kind of just hitting the fan, and you're not going to be able to show for it. But it's going to be good experience for next year, and I think that's all this game is: good experience for this unit, and them figuring out what they want to do next season, trying out a bunch of new things. I don't think they actually win this or come even close. I'll take UCLA.
Yeah, nightcap game in Shreveport, Louisiana. Also, Cal catching 3.5. This line shot up a little bit against Texas Tech. Both teams got guys out. Coach is gone. However, I think you should take the points. Give me the 3.5 with the California Golden Bears. Probably going to bet it because it's going to be one of the last things on, even though it's not a lock at this very second. But what are you doing here?
Yeah, I guess I'll go with the Golden Bears. Under game. They may be able to keep it a field goal. Now that it's over a field goal, I think it's a 3-point game. I'll go with the Golden Bears.
All right, back to college hoops before we get out of here. UNLV just beat Creighton. Dominating performance against Creighton. Now they head to Arizona, of all places, to take on St. Mary's. St. Mary's is laying 6.5. I was talked into this yesterday. I think we should hammer St. Mary's -6.5 because of the spot. Because UNLV just beat a top Big East team. I do think originally my first thought was, give me the points UNLV, but then Max was like, dude, this is a horrible spot for UNLV and St. Mary's, who had a tough start early in the year. They need to pad. They just beat Colorado State at Colorado State. Huge win for the Gales. They get this one, they can say their non-con, holds up a little bit to get that outright bid if Gonzaga wins the WCC. I think that's right. I think that handicap is right. Is that it's more important for St. Mary's than it is UNLV. It's also a bad spot for UNLV. So I will lay the 6.5 with the Gales.
Okay.
You in for a lock?
You know what? I haven't been talking college basketball at all with you this season. Yeah, let's lock up the Gales.
Let's fucking go. Alabama's playing a true away game at Creighton. Creighton's laying 7.5 points currently. I think it is. Whew. I think it's a bad
Creighton's
time
going to beat. Creighton's going to put. How far up can I take Creighton?
I was about to say, I think this might be a 20-point win, right? Coming off of a bad loss too.
I see. I can get you Creighton minus 16.5 or plus 330.
Get that 20-point win.
I think Creighton.
Yeah, they're gonna put it on them.
Hey,
Yeah.
hey, did you see when Manny Pacquiao got knocked out?
I did.
That's how it's gonna go. I think it's gonna be bad. I think Creighton's gonna be bad.
We got a double lock here on the Blue Jays in Omaha. This place gets lit too. They always fuck up teams. They fuck up like the best Big East teams there.
Let me take you somewhere before we go out.
Yeah, let's go. Let's go.
Let me take you to the HBCU Classic, Chris Paul's HBCU Classic, where we have Texas Southern playing against one North Carolina A&T Aggies.
This line's crazy though, right?
Both teams are winless this year. The line is, what's the line you have here?
Last I saw was like 11. I feel like 10.5. I'm seeing right now 10.5
minus 10.5 for Texas
Southern. Yeah,
for Texas Southern. Yeah, minus 10.5. Both teams winless this year. However, I would like to let everybody know that all winless teams are not equal. And Texas Southern does this thing every year.
They always make the tournament too.
They schedule their non-conference so hard because they have to get the money to give the team all this nice stuff. And they start the season 0-7.
Yeah.
And then they go run the gauntlet in the SWAC and they go to the tournament. It happens every single time. North Carolina A&T legitimately cannot win a game.
And they just had the Central game. Yeah.
They actually cannot win a game. I don't care if this was 20. I am fading my Aggies. Lay it with Texas Southern. They're one of the best HBCU college basketball teams, and they're going to get it done in the Classic today. I'm all over Texas Southern to get this done.
I think you're spot on. The line is telling you that. Paul Bucher's right. And he's saying this as an A&T grad. All right?
This team is bad, man. Like, this team is really, really bad, man. I am just so sad because I was at A&T for the glory years of football. I was there for the glory years of football. The basketball team, up and down. My homeboy played for the team, so I was always supporting. But like, I was there for the glory years of football. Now football and basketball just terrible. Oh my gosh. Hire me as the AD so we can get some change around here. Because man, shout out to Tariq Cohen.
Yeah, there you go, right? Final game before we get out of here. Tennessee is laying 9 in San Antonio against NC State. You know what I'm doing. Don't ask. Give me Tennessee minus 9.
Oh man. I mean, I get you. I understand.
Rick Barnes, November and December. I like to bet on Barnes in those months.
When you get a little bit closer to March, that's when you think, it's Rick Barnes. I would love to be on NC State here too, but it's Rick Barnes. I understand.
And folks, that is our show. We are the college basketball and college football experience. Subscribe on YouTube, youtube.com/the college experience. And enjoy a wonderful Saturday here. Give Terrell Furman a follow on Twitter at reallyRel__. And remember to check out his work. He is the host of the NBA Gambling Podcast, the WNBA Gambling Podcast. He's on the NFL Gambling Podcast, Sports Gambling Podcast, all that good stuff. Terrell always does great work. And you got to give it up for him because he's fading his alma mater today. Get the SGPN app. It's free to download in the App Store and Google Play Store. And appreciate everyone tuning in. And we'll be back tonight talking tomorrow's college basketball and reacting to a wild Saturday on the basketball and football front. So, isn't there a ton of other games too? Isn't there you got fights tonight? You got a fucking loaded. Isn't there a loaded NBA card, loaded NHL card? Like, isn't there just what a great fucking weekend for sports? So folks, remember to let it ride and have some fun. Until next time, this is the college basketball and college football experience. You better start thinking about yours. And we are out of here.
young, I was oh so shy. Never knew I'd grow up to be oh so fly. Didn't have many homies and I don't know why, but it never stopped me from picking up the mic. And everybody gathered round, I was shocked to see. Left my shell, the rest is history. Now I'm on to a relic at a moment's peace. And when I get home, I go to bed and brush my teeth. But man, I wonder how I keep it going at times. I get unorganized, garbage piles rise. In between times like I'm at right now, it's like the structure's f***ed up. I don't know how to get it back. I'm traveling back in time like when I was a kid, nervous, facing life. Uncertain feelings returning.